song predates Sonic. That classical piece predates Sonic.
Weeaboo brain makes you think, oh yes, that was Sonic music.
I didn't instantly
Sonic
recognize it
made that.
as Hall of the Mountain King. I thought you were singing fucking whatever the second level of Sonic 1 is.
Bruh, you are beyond the point of no return.
Do the Hall of the Mountain King again.
But
now I get it. Did he do something different? Did he do? Okay.
No, he did Hall of the Mountain King.
Maybe I wasn't listening properly.
He did Hall of the Mountain King.
I feel like it sounded different.
He didn't sing. He didn't. Then I wouldn't have picked out the fact that it was Hall of the Mountain King instantly.
Fair.
He was. You're like, no, it was Yuji Naka. Shut your mouth.
I don't think he wrote the sound, but no, it was Michael Jackson. No, Michael Jackson,
the guy who legendarily did all of the Mountain King.
He did, yeah. That's what Michael Jackson did. All of the Mountain King. He did do that one time. It was great. Everyone revered him for centuries for that one piece of music. I can imagine living in a world in which Michael Jackson created all the classical songs, and how that would change the real world.
I don't know if it'd change anything, really.
You don't think it would?
I think it would have zero material effects on the world.
I think that paedophilia would be legal.
Oh, really? Would you?
See, the thing is, Adam, is as you opened up with that, you knew this was where it was ending. There was no other logical conclusion.
To be fair, I absolutely had no idea.
There was no other logical conclusion to this line of questioning apart from that.
But it's Michael Jackson.
I guess, right? I should have known bringing Michael Jackson into any part of the world ends in paedophilia, right? In conversation purposes, I must state legally. Not in, not really. That cannot be proven.
He was a paedophile allegedly.
He was allegedly.
His estate. Oh, wait, we're not even recording.
I mean, we are.
Of course we are. What are you talking about? Adam records everything.
To be fair, I didn't. I wish I had recorded the.
Right. Once you're on the Discord call that you are being recorded, there's no other safe assumption to make.
True.
You are. I love what Adam goes. I mean, you are. You are being recorded. I'm recording you without your consent, without you knowing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't record from the beginning, and then I wish I had recorded Louis doing Hall of the Mountain King. But it is what it is. It's too late now.
Why, when you had such premium content as
we did have premium content.
That
exactly. Hello and welcome to Sometimes Video Games. I'm Adam, and as per usual, I'm joined by the lovely Charlie Walsh and Louis Birtwistle. How are you doing today? No. No.
Alright.
You're right. Yeah.
Alright.
Just treated with utter silence.
I was stretching, but my microphone didn't pick it up because I have noise suppression turned on, which means I can actually turn on my fan and you won't be able to hear it. Let's go, man.
Yeah, it's not that. Is it that warm today? I am kind of warm at the moment, but that's also because I'm sat at my computer. So that's kind of a thing. I've not been super warm the last week. You been okay, Charlie? You been dying this week, or you been surviving? Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. That's good. Thank you.
You can't see, but I'm sort of shaking my head in a kind of sort of like, what more did you want from me?
You're right. I agree. I invite you onto this podcast, and every week I expect
you invite me on here. Do you? It's yours now, is it?
Anything.
It's yours, is it now? Oh, okay. I didn't know that's how we were moving, but okay. If it's yours, then that's how it goes.
You know.
If it's yours, Adam's podcast.
Just expected the words to happen.
The work you expected. Oh, okay.
Oh, you know I expect the work, Charlie. Yeah.
You look at
Hey, just so you all know, I've backed us the most financially.
You are.
It's Louise, if anything.
Yeah, sure. Louis, can you host this podcast?
No, I'd rather not. Please keep posting.
Louis is the rich financial backer. He is the kingpin of the organization.
I would have gone with Sugar Daddy for sure.
He could be the sugar. Which one would you prefer, Louis? The sugar daddy or the kingpin?
Oh, the kingpin. This was really. I definitely don't want to be a fucking sugar daddy.
You don't want to be a sugar daddy.
No, it's so creepy and weird. I don't like that term. That word, just the term, like it makes me feel a bit ill.
There you go, Charlie. You make Louis being a bit.
Just offer. Listen, I just offered it up.
I can't.
If you don't want it, you don't want it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, yeah. I couldn't complete. I couldn't finish the sentence. It was too cruel. It was too mean. How are we all doing? We all having a nice evening, nice day, nice month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm doing okay. I've had a good. Work has been actual fucking hell.
So not bad. Have you been super busy for? I guess stuff starts in like September and shit, right? So...
No, it's the fact that I had to work with no air conditioning in a warehouse which got to a peak of 42 degrees inside the warehouse. It was hotter in the warehouse than it was outside.
That sounds about right. For all those that don't know, for anyone who is not in the UK and is listening, I'm sure you still know if you're not from the UK. We've had over the last, it's not the last week, is it? But I mean, I guess over the last couple of weeks, we've had pretty big, pretty severe heat waves in the UK.
It's pretty severe is quite is I feel like it's underselling it a bit. We have had the hottest days in recorded history.
Yeah, that's actually correct there. Yeah, we have had the hottest.
Last Tuesday was the hottest day in recorded history,
which is crazy. That's actually insane. I'm surprised Charlie's still alive.
It's the first time it has ever gotten to 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the UK. The first time it ever reached 100.
That's a lot. I don't even know what. Yeah, the Fahrenheit thing is crazy. That's a lot. I don't know how much it normally is in other places. I know people sort of like roasting British people on Twitter and stuff like, oh, you can't handle the heat. It's too cold and it's too hot. But like, there's a real difference to British hot weather. Like, it's so sweltering in Britain. I genuinely, I was in, so I went on holiday in Cyprus like ages ago, right? And I have no doubt that it's hotter in Cyprus than it is in the UK. But one, it didn't feel that hot. Two, they have so much air conditioning it doesn't matter. And three, I was fine. Like, my shoes were melting because they were shitting from Primark, but I was fine. Whereas, like, in British heat, I'm just sat there like, oh, fuck this. I guess it's because there's no escape, right? There's, like, no escape from British heat.
Also,
well, the thing
that no one else references, I hear this sort of stuff all the time, the thing that no one references is you're there on holiday.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I was also by the sea as well, which is...
like 42 degrees when he was on holiday.
It's probably not as bad.
As opposed to at work.
It's
a much different proposition.
Well, the thing is as well is that I feel like the air or the sort of the climate in the UK is very moist. For lack of using a better word.
Like I was by the sea in Cyprus as well, and I have absolutely no no thoughts that, like, if you were like in Brighton, for example, by the seaside, it would be nicer than being in a warehouse in.
But the thing is, in hotter countries, you'll notice it's usually dry. It's usually in drier climates
as well, yeah.
So, and the fact that it's not like that in the UK, just kind of makes it all a bit worse, because then a lot of that moisture evaporates and
becomes very. It's very it just gets very heavy. I think it's a heavy, wet heat, and it's kind of it's just unpleasant to be in, right? I think unpleasant's the right word. I think
unpleasant is that's a great word, but I think the issue that I'm having is more with the company that I work for, more than anything.
Were they not helping out?
all of the other warehouses got sent home. All of the other warehouses
Really?
on our industrial park, they got sent home.
Why did you guys not get sent home?
Our office got sent home. The office staff got sent home, but we didn't
Why?
because profit margins.
Legit, but every other warehouse did, right? They must be. That's fucking ridiculous. Surely they. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, every other warehouse on our street or our park got like they sent all their stuff home.
That's outrageous that yours weren't. How's it been
Yeah.
working from home, Charlie?
Shit. Next question.
Yeah,
It's
you-
just
Yeah.
fuck.
you had
Yeah,
the fan on.
It's very much the same as Louis in terms of just heat, like being hotter inside than it is outside.
Mm.
I've been saying this to my girlfriend for like 2-3 weeks building up to it. I've been going, look, because she won't go out, like I'll go shopping or whatever, and I'll come back and I'll be like, bro, it's significantly hotter in here than it is out there.
Mm.
And then on, I can't remember if it was the Monday or the Tuesday, she went out to do something and she came back in and she was like, how is it hotter in here? I was like, bro, I've been saying this. I've been done saying this. And I like, it's just, you just deal with it and just move on, right? But like, we have a thermometer and
Mm.
she's been checking it literally every 5 minutes. and it's just going, oh, it's bloody hot in here. And I'm like, yes, I know.
I
know.
can tell. Oh, that's funny.
Because I work in the hottest room in the house.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And she works in the coldest room in the house. And so every time it's just hot in here, innit? I'm like, yeah, it is. It's very warm. Yeah, so it wasn't ideal.
I think I'm kind of, I guess, blessed in a way that I think this house is.
Were you
cooler.
#blessed?
Yeah, #blessed. I think this house is cooler than the outside usually is. I think there have been a couple days last week where it wasn't, but for the most part, especially the room that I'm in, especially if I'm not just sat there on a PC forever, like it's got like kind of, it's wooden floors, I guess, right? So there's no carpet in this room at all, and I guess heat rises, so it's kind of just a bit of a cooler room, I suppose, which is nice, I guess.
Oh, has Lee got some nice air conditioning?
No, nobody's got air conditioning. Don't lie. Don't be silly. No, it's just I've got a cooler room because of like the way it's sort of, I guess, stone, like the brick walls and the wooden floor. Instead, there's no carpeting in this room. I assume the rooms with carpeting in are much warmer. But yeah, usually not as bad inside as it is outside, because we've been outside, like we went out to do shopping and stuff like that, and come in and gone, why is it so hot outside? So not that it's not got air conditioning, it's just, I think it's just the way the house is built, like sometimes houses are built to be a bit cooler. Weird stuff.
Well, like my girlfriend's parents' flat is significantly colder.
Is it?
Like it was mad. We were in there on Tuesday, and it was so significantly. It was like we walked in, and it was like being in an air-conditioned place. They don't have air conditioning. It's just the way the way it's built. It's just odd like that. It's just the way these things work. It's annoying. But yeah, Monday and Tuesday. I mean, because obviously London was the hottest part of the UK as well, or the southeast was. And Monday and Tuesday were just unbearable. It really was just next level. It really was.
It sounds it. Yeah, London's usually the hotter place in the UK as well. Like I don't know why specifically London. I guess it's because it's like a very busy city with lots of stuff going on, lots of people, lots of energy happening. I don't know.
Climate wise,
yeah. Like cities in general, I saw that Manchester was pretty. I think there was one day where I was like, I think Manchester was supposed to be the hottest place in the country at one day out of them as well. But yeah, countryside's a bit cooler at least. Seaside's where you want to be, innit? You want to go to the beach.
No, I don't want to be exposed. I want to stay in I want to stay in the shade.
In the shade, yeah.
And don't go anywhere near the beach. No, if there's no trees there, so no.
We can get palm trees, I don't know.
Oh yes, those famous palm trees in the UK beaches.
Yeah, UK beaches have palm trees.
I see everywhere.
I've been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and seen the plastic palm trees.
To be fair, no, I haven't.
Can I just say, Blackpool Beach is fucking disgusting.
I mean, it's all
Jesus,
sewage.
oh my god, it's black. Like,
Yeah.
I remember going once and like it was nearly black.
Yeah, don't go in the water at Blackpool Beach. Don't, just leave the water alone.
And I go to like Spain, Bilbao, and I have never seen water as blue as the water I saw in Bilbao. I have never seen water that blue. Holy shit, it was blue. It was a beautiful, like, bright blue color.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, when we were in Cyprus, we went on a little speedboat out to watch the turtles and stuff. And that was really the water there was relatively clean as well. It was seawater though, so. But yeah, I agree. Like, UK beaches are not particularly pleasant at the best of times. And now when we start dumping stuff in our rivers as well, it's probably going to be even worse, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. It doesn't sound like a
probably not the nicest. But yeah, Blackpool's like basically a sewage plant. It's like Blackpool Beach. It's basically just sewage water. It's from the decades of people going there and just dumping shit and not caring, which is pretty sad, all in all.
But it's also no. I mean, it's not just the people.
No, yeah, it's not just the people. Yes, you're right, correct.
In fact, I feel like the people, just the people that go there, is actually quite a small percentage of the sewage.
Probably, yeah. They're not there all year round to do more sewage, are they?
Blackpool Beach is minging though.
Yeah,
like
it's
people, Jesus Christ, people, like, clean your shit.
You know, the one thing that is associated with Blackpool, yeah, maybe make it nicer so that people would want to go there.
To be fair, do people like still think of the Blackpool Illuminations when they think of Blackpool?
I don't know, Charlie. What do you think of when you think of Blackpool?
M to the B. It's M to the M to the M to the B.
Oh my god!
To be fair,
that's a good answer.
She is probably the most popular exporter from Blackpool. Like, it's not incorrect, is it?
Oh my god, don't call her an export. She's a person, Adam.
That song is an export, I guess, right?
I thought Little T was like the popular one.
Yeah, but Little T didn't bang on TikTok, did he?
Yeah, that's the difference.
Oh, I guess not.
Like, Lil T is right. If we're talking about this, Lil T, the artist, is probably he's probably the most popular artist out of the group.
Not Afghan Dan.
If you're talking about the biggest song, then it's M to the M to the M to the B.
The biggest song by far is that, because it
they were like the big trio, weren't they? What was it called? Sophie Aspin.
Sophie Aspin.
Little T and Afghan Dan. Fucking Afghan Dan. What a name, man.
I still don't really know. Is he from Afghan? He's not. You know, I don't know where he came up with that name, but
I don't watch the BG Media documentary.
I have seen. Well, I don't know. Is it the one on like Vice?
Yeah.
I've seen it when they get back together for some reason and they're like having fish and chips and they like clearly don't like each other.
Yeah.
But I don't think Afghan Dan had much involvement in that. They had a bit.
He's in the documentary though.
He is, yeah.
The documentary is about those three.
It is.
Mostly.
Millie B is not in there often.
Like how Little T's mum looks like a future Sophie Aspin.
What?
That's
like so harsh. On Sophie Aspin.
Actually, it's probably a bit mean. If you're listening to this,
they definitely
are. Sorry.
They definitely are.
No one listens to.
You know, I thought that the Blackpool Grime Media thing was literally, because how long ago was that now? Like at least 3 or 4 years ago, right? Like it's got to be a while.
My brain for some reason says like 16, 17.
I thought it was just some like nonsense or whatever, but like hearing
Although
kids now do the fucking M to the B thing and that like they all know all about like the Blackpool grab. I just sat there like, how did these kids?
Yeah, but
all know about
M to the B is the only one.
You're not 12-year-old kid, little T.
He's not 12 anymore, is he?
He's an adult.
He's almost 30.
He's an adult.
He is an adult. He is an adult. Yeah.
He was 12, and I'm like, bruh, I was like 20.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
It surprises me that has lasted so long in, I guess, British culture.
It's only M to the B, really, that did.
Kids
like
know that shit, no.
the other stuff is just like the people who were there. Like M to the B is the one that, like, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
And that's because it banged on TikTok.
It did.
I mean, to be fair, there was also, you know, little T singing about the horrible things he was going to do to somebody's sister.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Give her a kicking. Sorry, it's an unreal.
5 chicken licking. I'm gonna give her a kicking. Or the actual lyrics. I'm not gonna say the other lyrics because
No, not the other one. Definitely
I'm not
not
gonna
the
say
other one.
the other one, but I will say those
Definitely not the other
ones.
Oh, it's definitely a part of history now. It's that whole
Historians will look upon the events of Blackpool Grime Media.
they will indeed. They will look upon that day and wonder.
Here we see David Attenborough is all like, and here we see Sophie Aspin spitting some absolute bars
outside of her neighbor's house. I can't remember. I've seen something similar to that, actually.
Historians believe this was the mating call of the people of Blackpool.
Funny man, Sam.
He was like a bit of a dickhead, apparently. Like he went around like he went around robbing homes and shit, I think.
Oh no.
There was they did a cipher in 2020.
What?
Which has like Lil T, Afghan Dan, Caliman Sam's on it. Can't remember who else. In 2020, the year of our Lord.
In the year of our Lord 2020, Blackpool Grime Media was still a thing. I don't think it is a thing though, is it? Is it still a thing? Do people still do stuff for, like, does Blackpool still have a grime scene?
I mean, everywhere will still have a grime scene, but
Sort
I don't
of.
think it's.
I don't know if everywhere will have a grime scene. Can you imagine the fucking? I don't know.
Oh my god! I just looked at
Oxfordshire grime
on the Road Rage, which is of course the Lil T song, which has the lyrics that we were referring to.
Yes.
You know how like Spotify has lyrics up?
Yes.
Yeah, it has that line.
Yeah.
Impressive.
In its full glory, no censorship.
Yeah, no censorship. They just have a 12-year-old saying that just out there.
Nice. I mean, I guess it's got to show, right? You got to be really like on it about what you censor and what you don't censor on Spotify. Are a lot of things censored on? Do you say on Spotify or on
I don't know. I've never seen anything censored on it, but like, I
I
felt like if anything was going to be, it'd be that. Well, I'm surprised he's even on there. To be fair,
I feel like music shouldn't. I feel like music on a music platform shouldn't be censored. I feel like music on.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not.
should
To be
be
clear,
censored.
I don't think you should censor the song, but like, just having the lyrics up feel like for that specific song feels odd to me.
It does it.
Like, I'm not saying the song being on there feels odd to me in general, just because of the context of the song. It's just a madness, right? But like, I mean, like when you have like a 12-year-old saying that, and then it's just like, yeah, here's the thing. It's just all of it just feels quite odd. I don't know if censoring it is the right thing to do. I'm just surprised they didn't. But I'm not saying censor the song more than just specifically the button you press when the lyrics come up and it shows it as you go.
I can tell you now. It does not. I've just checked Mad City Kendrick Lamar, and it does not censor the word that it says there either.
Sure, but that's the thing with, but that's the difference. Is that's Kendrick Lamar, not a 12,
but I imagine it would
12-year-old
censor.
from Blackpool.
It's Kendrick Lamar. He's allowed.
But I imagine if they were going to censor a word, it would be that word regardless of who said it, right?
But again, Kendrick Lamar.
Sure, no, I'm not comparing that. I'm just
T.
I'm just seeing what exactly.
No,
Spotify
but
censors.
I'm comparing them. That's what I'm saying is odd to me. Is the fact that the context is what makes it odd to me. I'm not saying you're comparing them as artists, as if they're comparable.
Sure,
but that's kind of my point. Is they're not comparable. So like I don't think any
so censor
like
Little
someone
T forever.
kid, just why not? Why not?
Why not just censor Little T?
It's EBA at this point, bro.
He's banned.
He's been banned.
He said he was gonna do something bad.
He did say he was going to do something bad.
And he was 12 at the time, and then the person he's referencing was smaller than him. So that's even more
It's
concerning.
even worse, yeah. We brought it right back around to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Imagine saying that. Like, imagine.
What, just to a person.
No, imagine like he must have been at that age where you just like don't understand what it is you're like.
No, he definitely fucking understood what he said.
No, yeah, but you don't understand.
No, he doesn't understand the context
yeah.
of what he's saying.
Sure.
The gravity of it, you know. You know what it is, and you know it's bad, but you don't understand.
Maybe,
the gravity.
maybe he was like, I know I'm gonna do bad things to your little sister, but I don't know what exactly this bad thing is. It's just a bad thing. Maybe.
Even then, I think you do, but even then, you just don't understand
you said the gravity of the situation, I guess, right?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same as like stealing a Mars bar or whatever, right? It's just bad.
It's like when young people say the N-word. It's like they're aware of why the N-word is bad,
They
but
just don't know why. But
they don't understand the gravity of it.
The level of how bad it is.
Sure, yeah.
Well, the thing is, for most people, or a lot of young people that don't understand, it's like to them, it's just words. Like you'll just say them because they're bad, and it's for the shock value.
Yeah, I was told not to say these words, so I'm going to say them because I'm a bad boy, innit?
Well, I mean, it's just kid humor, isn't it?
I honestly don't know.
It's like they don't really understand what makes comedy work. So they'll just be like, "Oh, this has like shock value.
Like,
I'm going to say this."
Lol, what a funny thing to say.
My favorite, and this isn't comparable at all again, but when I used to babysit one of my mum's friends' kids, and he was like, he must have been about. I'm sure I've told you this story before, but you must.
I love those degrees
6,
of separation
7.
between you and this kid, Charlie. That was a bit entertaining for me.
Oh well, yeah, no, I don't know why I gave you the
Your
exact info
mum's
on who he was, but
kid.
I don't know why I gave you that exact info. But like, and he must have been like 7 or 6 or something. He wasn't. He was super young. I don't know how old he was, like mega young, and he understood the cadence of a joke. But did not understand the context or the concept or how to build a joke.
So you could say something as if it was a build-up, and then say something as if it was a punchline.
For like 6 hours, and I mean this legit for like 6 hours, he would go, "What would you get if you cross banana and a spider, banana spider?" And then would just do that. Like he would just pick 2 things and then say them in a row. What do you get if you cross a car and a car tree, like that, just like for 6 hours? And
can I
like,
just say, I already like this. I already like this kid. I already like this kid.
He's a legend. It was the funniest thing because, and the thing is, I was crying with laughter because of how objectively dumb it was.
Yeah.
But he's taking that as I'm nailing this set. This set, I need to be writing this down. This set bangs, and so he did it.
Cartree, it's fucking classic Cartree.
He was like, "Oh, bro, I've got to get this. I'm going on Live on the Apollo next week." Like it was, and it was like non-stop. He would just do random things, and then he would just say it together over and over.
I love the idea now that he is like he's in clubs. He's a semi-professional comedian, right? And he thinks it's a fucking banger, right? He closes on it every set because it's so fucking good. He goes,
Car tree,
"What happens when you cross a car in a tree? Car tree."
car tree, and it was
So-
that's how he would say it as well.
Rousing
He would,
applause.
what would happen if what happens if you cross a car and a tree? Car tree. It was always like he would always say it in
No
like the same
space
breath.
for
There
the-
was no pause for joke.
That's his set closer. That's his, and everyone fucking loves it.
Can I just say, there is actually a website, and it's one of my favorite websites on the planet. And it's jokes written by 6-year-olds.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Nice.
It's a great website.
It's so fucking good. So like you'd get jokes like this is one of my favorite ones, which was why did the chicken cross the road?
Go
Because its bum fell off.
on. Oh, okay, sure.
Just like that's the kind of level of joke you get.
I mean, they do say that the art of comedy is to deliver something unexpected, right? Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
That's why it's so funny, because you didn't expect his bum to fall off. But it did.
I'm now looking at the Kids Write Jokes Twitter account, which is
Nice.
just tweets, which are just jokes written by kids.
Mm.
And Adam, for some reason, this one's this strikes me as something that this strikes me as an
Something
Adam
I've
joke.
written. Okay.
If you go to the ham contest, what will the man say?
I don't know.
You won last year. You are not allowed. There's no.
You're
They
right.
just like they've got a setup, and then they've
You're-
just like
You're right.
here's some other words, I guess.
Sadly, you're right. This is the level of joke that I have.
If you go to the ham contest,
I don't know what a ham contest is.
what will the man say?
What man? Which man? Is he the man who runs
You
the
won
ham?
last year. You are not allowed.
Like, to be fair, you have nailed me there, because I feel like when I was 6, that's exactly the kind of thing that I would have said.
Oh my god! I'll
the-
just add this to the reasons. Add this to the huge list of reasons why I want to be a dad.
There's a. I'm gonna this one, and for context, so they've written how the children wrote them as well.
Yeah.
So for context, this one is in all caps.
Nice.
Hey, what's for dinner, cow?
Hmm.
Pooh, sir. It is the French way.
What?
Oh my god!
The
What?
French way.
It is the French way.
It is the French way. What is going on?
I feel like we gotta have some words with this kid's parents.
He just clearly hates the French man. You can't take that away from him, man. You can't take that away from him.
Man, waiter, how long will my pizza be? Waiter, not very long, lol.
Ah, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's a regular conversation, but in text speech, right?
Not very long, lol.
Just not very long, lol.
Not very long. Lol. Oh, but what on earth? That's a joke. I mean, is it a joke? Doesn't have any of the normalcies. So maybe that's why it's so good. Is that it books the
I think
trend
that's
of
what
joke?
it is the beauty of like.
It's an
There's like
anti-joke.
there's almost a joke somewhere in there, but we don't quite know where.
It's an anti-joke. What it is.
What do you get when you cross a T-Rex and a chicken?
Go on.
Nothing but death.
I suppose so, yeah.
This kid's bruv was having a moment that day.
It reminds me of this. I found something I followed ages ago when I was a bit younger, but it's the anti-joke cat, and he tells jokes that aren't jokes, and that's what the other one reminded me of. And this is an example of an anti-joke. Knock knock.
Who's the
The postman.
postman who?
Look, do you want this parcel or not?
It's good.
It's It's just like, it's not a joke. It's specifically not a joke. They're just in the joke structure. What do you get when you throw a hand grenade in a French bathroom?
I don't know. What do you get when you throw a hand grenade in a French bathroom?
Imprisonment up to 15 years in an international detainment facility.
Imprisonment up to 50.
How many lesbians does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know how many lesbians does it take to change a light bulb.
One, unless she's too short, in which case she may get someone else to do it.
It's like it's set up and then fact.
It is. It is just set up and then the actual answer to that question, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, that's what the French waiter thing reminded me of anyway. It was like, yeah, I guess. How long will the pizza be? Not long. Lol.
These are actually incredible.
Not long, lol.
Not long.
What I like is some of them follow the form of a joke, even if it's not quite there. For example, what do you call a freak horse?
What do you call a freak horse?
Freak, as in Freak. Freak. What do you call a freak horse?
Yeah, what do you call a freak horse? Yeah, I don't know. What do you
Jessica.
call it? I guess.
Someone clearly annoyed them. Then you'll get ones that don't follow the form at all. For example, crocodiles might be vegetarians because when they open their mouths, we could easily put in vegetables, right? Which it doesn't. That's I don't even know what's going on there.
Is that a sentence?
But this one might be the best.
Mm.
Guess, but spelt GESS. Guess how many snakes there are.
What,
13.
Oh.
I think there are. I think there are a few more.
There are 13.
There are 13 snakes. Yeah. That's what the fuck. That's so random. Oh, jokes are good. Jokes are not. I kind of enjoy the idea that jokes that are shit, right? And I don't mean like those type of shit jokes that are like dad jokes or puns, but jokes that are specifically just, no, this is a terrible joke, but I'm going to wholeheartedly tell you this terrible joke. I do find those quite fun.
Adam, I've just sent you one, which I want you to try and just.
Is it on Facebook?
Just try and read out loud. Just
Is it?
try and
Is this on
figure
Facebook,
out
yeah?
what's going on there. Yeah. Just try and figure out what's going on with that.
Okay, let me have a look.
Just read it out.
Okay, I'll give it a good old read here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'll
No call and response for it either. I just want you to read it out.
Just me, no call and response. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So knock knock. Toilet cat. Who's there? Toilet who? That's the joke. That's
it.
That's the joke.
Knock knock. Toilet cat. Who's there? Toilet who? Was this kid drunk? What's going on?
I feel like this kid is very young.
Yeah,
I
100%.
agree.
I feel like this kid is young enough to the point where they don't understand a lot.
They're like old enough to write words, but they don't really understand the words.
I'm not convinced they wrote the words, but I think they had a scribe.
Yeah, maybe they were 3 or something, right? And they knew the words toilet and cat, and then had heard of the concept of a knock knock joke, but then didn't really understand how knock knock jokes sort of work. You know, I don't know. It's definitely a thing. What have you sent me now?
You'll see.
What do you call a dinosaur with no eyes?
I don't know. What do you call a dinosaur with no eyes?
Shut up!
Shut up! So aggressive.
Oh,
I didn't expect the shut up. It's It's so bad.
No, that is a good joke.
That's-
Now that is playing with the form.
Shut up.
If a good joke is twisting expectations, that is nailed it.
You need to defy expectations. That I defy expectations.
Expectations were in fact subverted.
It's the logical evolution of what do you call an interrupting cow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's the logical step up from that. I can imagine.
What do you call? But Adam, what do you call an interrupting cow?
I don't know. What do you call an interrupting cow, Louis?
I don't know either. I've never heard that one before.
No. The joke is you interrupt them when they're asking the question back. What do you call an interrupting cow? Yeah. So it's a. I'm just imagining on a stage, right? And they're there. They just bring an audience. They're asking an audience member, "What do you call a dinosaur with no eyes?" And the audience members just sat there like, "I don't know. What do you call it?" He goes, "Shut up!" Like straight up looks them in the eyes, like, "Shut up!"
I want Frankie Boyle to do that, or Jimmy Carr.
It's not edgy enough to be Jimmy Carr, I don't think. You know what I mean by edgy enough? Like it's.
Oh, I know. Michael McIntyre. He's like the family-friendly one, isn't he?
He is a family. Does he do stuff like that? Does he say "shut up" to people though? I don't really watch Michael McIntyre, to be fair.
He's bloody shit. He's soft.
I never. The only thing that I found funny about him was that he bobbles his head when he talks.
That's yeah.
He just goes, "I'm Michael McIntyre." It's like all he does basically. It's a weird one. I don't know. Ugh. I don't know. I'm feeling warm, Louis. How are you feeling?
You said you were warm by the start of the
I
show.
wasn't. I'm up now.
Yeah, you are, Adam.
Oh, thank you, Louis. That's very nice of you to say. Very nice of you to say. Have you been playing any video games, Louis?
Bro, I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of video games.
A lot of them?
I've been mainly playing the Destiny 2. And we have started we have started a Minecraft world together. A bunch of the speedrunners that play Destiny 2. What's
your Minecraft world like? Is it nice?
It's good. It's gonna not be nice very soon because a lot of us are horrible people.
Fair. What's your plan? What's your plan, Louis? What's your first plan?
Make the Ooge Cave.
The Ooge Cave. What's going to be in the Ooge Cave?
The word Ooge.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yep.
And everyone's going to go in the Ooge Cave and be like, "Oh, what's in the Ooge Cave?" And they're just going to say the big word Ooge, and they're like, "Oh, it just says Ooge in it."
Then they're going to be like, "Oh, I want to join the clan," and then Abby's going to be like, "No, you can't."
No, you cannot. Exactly. That's how the Ooge works. I assume. Have you played any games, Charlie?
Yeah. I've been mad busy, so I haven't touched anything for like a week. Like, oh my god, it's been horrendous. I've had like the worst week. But I did before that. I did start and then subsequently get the platinum trophy for the medieval PS4 remake.
I was expecting Paw Patrol.
Oh no, so I did start so I did start playing that. And then I realized it didn't have a platinum trophy, so I stopped.
Does it not?
I was fuming. I did finish one level though, and it gave me 7 trophies at the end, which was incredible.
Jesus.
Literally the first level. If you just go through and complete the first level, you get 7 trophies. But no, I could have. It was on. Was that the day when I was playing Paw Patrol? Might have been. It might have been Monday when I was playing it like a lunatic. But it just without the platinum trophy, it just didn't seem worth the effort.
Sure.
I 1000% would have done it though. I can't lie to you. If it had a platinum
trophy, my life is wortherless.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you though. I would like if that game had a platinum, I would have done it. Because it would only taken like 3 hours or something to get it. If it had, it's so. Well, it's made for babies, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
But that's when I saw. That's when I was like, oh, I was like, I felt like getting a platinum. I needed it in my life, so I went and did them. So I went and did the medieval PS4 remake instead.
I've never played any medieval games. Don't know anything about them.
I really like them. I would say that mechanically they've aged horrendously, and I was hoping, like when you play the PS1 version of it, for example, you can kind of forgive that because it just is what it is. Like it can't not have aged. Do you know what I mean? It's from a different age, from like 20 or whatever years ago. But I was hoping that with the PS4 one, they would have. I remember the reviews at the time coming out being relatively middling.
I remember them being okay.
Being like 7s.
Yeah.
And like being like, okay, because this was like in the middle of like Crash and Spyro when you're getting like big boy review scores and stuff. So I was like, and I remember people being like, it's got issues. And it has aged horrendously, specifically the mechanics. It really and they haven't changed it at all. Like they have remade that game. They have not they haven't added, like, mechanically it's exactly the same as it was on PlayStation 1. And that's kind of an issue because honestly the everything else about that game I really love. I feel like it was such a cool candidate for something where if you were given the sort of time and money to sort of go at it and try and sort of just make a modern version of it, it would be fantastic. Because what's there is still good, but again, it's just mechanically really dated and just awkward.
Okay.
Which isn't, and like I say, I really enjoyed it. I went through and got a platinum, so clearly I did. But yeah, there was just that aspect of it. But I really still love that game. I really do. First one especially. I know there was a PSP remake, which is pretty good as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they remade it on PSP, Medieval Resurrection, which was more of a remake than this was. I don't know. It was a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yeah, no. Listen, if it's cheap, then it's probably worth playing. It's a fun game, but its combat is not ideal.
That makes sense.
Ideal at all.
That makes sense.
Some of those levels as well.
Are they
I feel like they're just mad short.
Jesus.
Like I feel like you play one of those levels, you're like, oh, it's over. All right, fair enough. Like it's like when you go back to play like, guess like Crash 1, and some of those levels feel like they're over in like 30 seconds. You're like, bloody hell. Fair enough.
I get you.
None of them are particularly bad. There's one or two which are like annoying as fuck. But yeah, it's a good game though. Good game, and the visuals are great. Oh, it looks great.
I can imagine so. Like, if there's one thing that they're gonna nail down, it's the visuals, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know how much budget they had when they were doing it. It feels like when you're playing it, it does feel like it's limited slightly by that, I think. And I feel like when they looked at the budget they had and the scope, they went, right, okay, we don't really have the time to significantly modernize and develop this, so we'll sort of stay true and faithful because we can nail that. And they did nail that. It's just the problem is
just they stay true and faithful, and that stuff's not aged well yet. Yeah,
but the actual like and don't get me wrong, even some of the graphics are a bit like, there's the first boss, for example, I think looks shoddy as all hell, but the most of the time it looks fantastic. And it does some really cool camera stuff where if you go back and play the original PlayStation 1 game, it is very much like, the camera as it with most PlayStation 1 games is pretty crap.
PlayStation 1 stuff, camera was hard.
Just back in those days, cameras were not what they are today.
No.
And so the camera is obviously a lot better and stuff, but a lot of levels start with really nice framing, and when you talk to certain characters, the camera will move into a way that's like just really nice, and you look at it and you're just like, oh, this is bangs. At the time it was very clearly like heavily inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
And you can see that still now, but like it is really good looking. It's almost a shame because I enjoyed it, and when I finished it, I was like, I enjoyed that, but it did almost make you think, but what if they really went at it, it would have been like an 8 and 9, like good game.
But
Whereas
they
now
fully
you're just that's a fun.
remade it, made it work well for modern designs and modern platformers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Which unfortunately is not what I did, but it is good. It's still fun, still good. That's the main thing I did because obviously I got platinum. I did play some things, but I can't remember what it was. I did play Paw Patrol for like 6 levels. I think I finished half of Paw Patrol on a roll.
Oh, really?
Before I stopped. I thought about just finishing it for the bands. I was like, I'm just gonna finish this for the joke of finishing this, and I could have, but it was the hottest day in history. It was literally the hottest day ever recorded in this country.
Yeah.
I was plus 40 degrees at that point. I was like, I can't be asked doing this for another hour. It's just not what I can be asked to do. What else did I play? I feel like there's something, but I can't remember what. Can't remember what. But yeah, no, the last like 6 days or something, I've been stupidly busy. The last like 3 days specifically, this is how bad it is. Maybe 4 days actually. I'm in this chair, which is at my computer, and I work. I would wake up, work, like just come straight, sit down, start working on editing and the things I have to do. Then it would go until about 3 o'clock in the morning, where I would fall asleep in this chair at my desk while editing, like hand on the mouse.
Jesus, dude.
Then I'd wake up and things would be moved around and I would be confused, and it's because I clicked and moved something as I was falling asleep. And then I would go to the sofa, which is by where I am.
Yes.
Sleep on that for like 3 hours. Get up, come sit back down. Work until I physically couldn't again. Go sleep for like 3 hours, come back like that, and I haven't done anything but that in the last 4 days. So
you need to go to bed.
Yeah, it's because I'm going away. On.
Yes.
What is it? Saturday. What day is it today? It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
We're going away on Saturday, so I'm having to do like 2 weeks work in about the space of a week.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I've got more stuff on than usual, so I'm just trying to plow through it all to make sure it's all done.
That sounds
and it's
nightmarish.
My God, it's horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't sound particularly fun.
No, thankfully I've only got one more video to go and then I'm done.
That's good.
So by tomorrow, I'll actually be able to do something that isn't work.
Like sleep.
Imagine that. Like sleep in a bed.
I know. What's that? It's nonsense.
In a bed. My God. Go to the shop and buy actual food.
Ugh. Insane.
What about you? Played anything?
I've been pretty unwell the last couple of weeks. I've had problems with my problems with my foot, then problems with my toe, then problems with my knee, which is like and I'm like starting to recover a bit now. So I haven't been playing too much. Just been playing like I guess stuff on my phone, like Super Auto Pets is fun. But no, not loads. I got back in. I'm getting back into Final Fantasy 14, which is probably bad. Like there's a big amount of like loads of videos and streams and stuff have just sort of like thrown my way, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll watch this. I'll watch some stuff on that. Cool, why not? And then like it just, you know, when you just see enough of a thing and you just go like, you know what, I fancy giving that another go. I fancy jumping on that for a bit. Just sort of happened. Because I've not played it for a long time. I've not played it for a while. And a friend of mine started playing it again, and then I started seeing all these videos come up, and I was like, yeah, sure. I guess I could jump back on. I guess I could jump back in. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know if there's loads to do that I've not done, but I don't know what I want to do on it. So I'm just sort of goofing around and leveling up and taking pictures, because that's all I ever do on that game anyway, other than the story stuff.
Sure.
I really want to play, like, the problem is I really want to play it with friends. And I've been playing this game more or less as a single player game since I started playing it. And like you can play, I know it's an MMO, but you can sort of play it as a single player game. But
I'm gonna be honest, most MMOs kind of are single player games, to be honest. Like a lot of them have multiplayer aspects, but like most of the grind or most of the busy work is done solo.
I mean, yeah, you could do. I mean, the only thing, I guess, the things that I want to do it with a friend, though. Like, you can do quests and stuff, but I want to do it with a friend. Like, I want to walk around the world with a friend and have antics and shit, you know, and not just be like, I'm walking on the thing doing quests again, or I'm going in a dungeon on Duty Finder and just matching up with random people who I don't really know and probably don't massively want to talk to. You know, it would just be nice to have like a group of people that I am actually friends with, that I actually like spending time with, to do these things with, you know. But I have friends in all. It kind of makes me think I should move to like an American server, just because I know there are people who I would spend time with an American server, but I also don't know if I want to just like ditch the European server completely and just go, fuck it, let's go to America. It's a weird idea. But I mean, yeah, I could play with a friend then, which would be good.
Well, you never know. You might run into the moderator that banned me from the Destiny 2 LFG Discord.
Maybe. Who knows? Could do.
That's my big thing with, like...
And then you can ask him to unban me. Which you should definitely do, Adam.
Yeah.
You should ask him like repeatedly to unban me.
Of course.
Because that's what my friends have been. That's what my other friends do.
Oh, well, stalk him on other games.
No, to be fair, I'm probably never getting unbanned because of that.
No.
But yeah, my friends repeatedly ask this guy who banned me repeatedly to unban me. Like, yeah, they don't stop.
I mean, that's probably not going to help, is it? Unless he gives in eventually. I don't know.
Not help my case. No.
What were you going to say, Charlie?
I was just going to say fuck multiplayer games, basically. Like, I can't. That's one of my things when I'm playing, is I naturally want to play by myself. And I just feel...
The thing is, I feel very, like... I guess I feel kind of lonely in that. Like, I enjoy playing games on myself. Like, by myself and stuff like that. I play mostly single player games, you know, I do. But I think the fact that I'm playing an MMO makes me feel more like I should be playing with other people. And the fact that I'm not makes me feel a bit more like, this is kind of... It's kind of sad, right? It's kind of, you know, not that you can, like I said, you can play through the entire story on your own, and that's perfectly fine. And that's a valid way to play the game as well. It's a valid way to play the game that they're supporting more and more as well. Like they're going back in and making older content able to play in single player modes, which is really cool. But like the fact that it's got that big MMO title, that big MMO label, to me is like, but I should be playing it with other people. Like what's the point of it being an MMO?
That's what always concerns me. I guess concerns is probably the right word. When you get like presentations like E3 or whatever, and you'll see the next Destiny wannabe, if we're being honest about it, and they're like, oh, you can play it by yourself as well as with other people, and it's like, yeah,
we have a term for those games. The quote unquote Destiny killers.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, because that's what they're always branded as. They're always like marketed as Destiny killers.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I understand why.
If something is designed to be played by multiple people at once, and then you play it by yourself, you really feel it. I think so.
I understand why there's a stress on trying to make Final Fantasy XIV more single player, and that's because a lot of the
out of all of the MMOs, that one makes the most sense.
Because all of the big Final Fantasy fans who are put off by it being an MMO want to play it on their own, right? They want to play it and have the same experience that they'd have playing any other kind of game, and that makes perfect sense. But the fact that you can play it, and I do play it with other people, just not people I know. You know, like I jump into a dungeon or a raid or whatever, and I'm like, these are just people that I don't know. It would be cool to be with people that I do know, or people that I'm actually friends with. And I find a lot of the like clan FC whatever stuff is kind of weird as well, because you got to find people you actually gel with, which is hard.
Yeah, it's always difficult. But that's. I mean, we've had this conversation on your streams, for example, when you've been playing Final Fantasy, and I'll be watching you, and I'm just like, I just can't. It's the same as all of those sort of things. I feel like, although I understand, although I think with Final Fantasy, it's difficult to say this because obviously it's Final Fantasy, and so there is certainly um there is certainly there's a reason why you would want to make that MMO as single playery as possible.
Yeah,
because that's what Final Fantasy has traditionally.
That's what it
been.
is. Yeah, you want to play it through the story and the characters and the whatever else.
I feel like at that point though, you're losing out something. I feel like if you want to make something single player, you should just make it single player. And if you want to make something,
I mean, there's definitely
MMO,
a conversation to be had for that. I feel like there are definitely times, and I don't think this is a very popular opinion within the Final Fantasy 14 community. I just think it's an opinion that I have. There are definitely times where this game being an MMO makes the overall experience of the game worse, I think. And there are times where I'm like, there are times where I've been watching people play it and stuff recently as well. I'm like, you know what, this element, this part of the story would work so much better as a traditional JRPG or whatever, right? But there are a lot of people who kick back at that and say, well, actually, no, the reason why it's able to tell this story over such a long period of time is because it's an MMO, and other games no other game would be allowed the amount of airtime Final Fantasy 14's had to get to the point where it is as good as it is, because it is good. Like, the story is great where it is now and stuff like that. It's just, it's like 10 years old now or something like that, and no single player game gets 10 years worth of content patches, right? No there isn't a single one.
Yeah, GTA, I guess, but I mean,
its online is its biggest focus though, right? Now, anyway.
Is that not the same with? Is that not the same? Sure, same argument I would make about Final Fantasy 14.
Sure, I get what you mean. Yeah,
but I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, and differences and stuff like that. If it was just Final Fantasy 14 and it came out and it was a single player game, it would have just come out and gone and finished, and no one will talk about it again. I think, or some people will talk about it because it's Final Fantasy, but you know, that's the sole thing. Whereas now it's like one of the biggest MMOs in the market and one of the biggest money makers for Square and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. A weird one.
Well, it's one of the few that managed to break through into being an actual moneymaker.
Well, yeah, it's one of those games because everyone was like, I think to be fair, it's because it didn't try and focus. It's like Louis talking about the Destiny killer shit. It's like when you don't turn up and go, my entire purpose is to defeat this other game.
Yeah,
you're far more successful as a product.
Yeah,
like it was like with all the Halo killers back in the day, right? Almost none of them came off anywhere near successful.
But that's the thing. I don't know if any publisher or developer ever goes, "We're going to kill Halo." I feel like that's purely a marketing term. I don't think anyone ever goes into it thinking, "We're going to get Halo. We're going to get Destiny. We're going to get."
No, but I think people do. Not we're going to get it, but we're gonna make a game like that and try and pivot off the success of that, right?
Yeah. Of course,
it's just that they just make very similar products that are inevitably not going to do as well.
Yeah, that's exactly
with the exception of probably Fortnite.
Yeah, there's some exceptions like Fortnite.
But I mean, Fortnite didn't do as well until it all of a sudden did, right? Like
when they tried to copy something, then it did.
Well, yeah, sure.
Before it was copying. Well, not that. What it was doing.
It was a fort building. It was just like a fort building game, a survival fort building game.
Yeah, it was Orcs Must Die. It was whatever. It wasn't like it wasn't the most unbelievably unique thing in the world, but it was when I literally remember the day Fortnite Battle Royale came out. I remember the day because me and my mate we'd been talking about getting PUBG for ages because we both loved PUBG and wanted to play it together, but neither of us have ever owned it, and we were talking about it, and then the day it came out, we went, "Oh, that flipping dodgy PUBG clones just come out. Should we try it?" And we're like, "Yeah, fine." And then like obviously the rest was history. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like that also has the added benefit of having no barrier to entry. Which is something that, for example, which is something you see more and more often, obviously. But back in the day, when you're talking like Halo killers, you obviously have to pay like 40 quid plus to get to gain entry into the Halo killer in the first place.
Yeah, and then it
Whereas-
wasn't anywhere near as good, and you were just like, well, I might as well have just bought Halo.
Whereas literally, I don't think either of me or my mate would ever have gone near Fortnite, but it was free, so
Yeah, it being
which is
free
why
is
we
a big
played
deal,
it as
so,
opposed to flipping PUBG.
Yeah, things being free is also a big deal. Like in terms of popularity, like Fall Guys would never been anywhere near as popular as it was, and to be fair, continues to be if it wasn't free on like PS Plus when it came out, right?
Yeah. Also,
Rocket League, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think Fortnite. I was gonna say, yeah, Fortnite would never have beaten the likes of PUBG if it wasn't for the fact that it was free.
No chance. Free games, who'd have thought if you give people something for free, they end up enjoying it?
Insane how successful that thing is.
It is.
Like, it makes sense, but at the same time,
Yeah.
mad.
Madness. And our PUBG's just kind of doesn't exist anymore.
It does, dead. But it's just not.
No one talks about it
in the same way.
No one talks about it.
Yeah, it still exists.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
The problem with it is that the game's fun. Like the conceptually, and even like the maps are like fun to roam and explore. But the problem is, it looks like and plays like a game that was made in 2004. And like that's kind of the problem for a game made in, nearly 2 decades, or sorry, well, to be fair, like a decade and a half later. I think it came out in like, to be fair, it probably came out in like what, 2014, 15? Oh, I was gonna say
I'm not sure exactly when it is. That's my guess. My guess is 2016.
I think PUBG came out. My gut says about 2016 as well, because obviously the idea of it was around for ages, and there were, it grew out.
Well, people made like H1Z1, which was an Arma 2 mod.
Came out 2017, boys.
H1Z1 was a Sony produced game, but it was.
Oh really? I thought it was a. I thought it was
DayZ was the.
Oh, DayZ was the. Yeah, okay.
It came out 2017.
Yeah, there you go. And then you had H1Z1, which came out after.
Was that the release, or because like
I imagine that was the release? Yes,
it was in beta for like the longest time, and it got popular when it was still in its beta stage.
To be fair, it does say here on the Wikipedia that PUBG Battlegrounds was first released for Steam's early access beta program in March 2017, and then the full release was in December 2017.
Oh, okay.
And then that you had because you had DayZ, you had the Armor mod, you had the actual DayZ that came out. You had H1Z1, Z1,
whatever
however you want to call it, and then obviously PUBG and K from all of those.
Yeah, all of those are a little bit earlier.
But I mean the flipping whatever you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call it. I mean PUBG lives through Callisto Protocol, isn't it? So.
What?
Do you remember that Dead Space looking game that kept coming up at
E3? Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. There's a universe, isn't there?
It was meant to be a PUBG universe. Game, but it no longer is.
Yeah, the Callisto Protocol.
They were like, we think we've got something here in this cool story, blah blah blah. Let's not do that. And they were like, yeah, fair enough, and they didn't. But it was originally, when they started making it, part of the PUBG universe.
I don't know what that means, but then again, I'm not like anywhere near as knowledgeable about PUBG as I should be. So
the thing is, I don't think they knew what it meant either. I'm not sure they knew what it meant either.
Was such a thing as a PUBG universe.
And I don't think anyone did. And I think that was part of the initial like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean the Dead Space guy is making a Dead Space game but set in the PUBG? What does that
universe?
What does that mean? And no one knew. And then eventually they were like, yeah, we're dropping the PUBG bit of it. It's just the same thing.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's like as if PUBG had a lore or something behind it, and I Don't know, man. Maybe it does. Maybe there's a proper lore to PUBG that I'm missing.
But yeah, they're owned by the same. They're owned by the PUBG people that develop.
Well, one thing I will say is that Battle Royale, fucking fantastic film.
Yeah.
Can't watch it.
Is it because it's Korean?
No, it's because it's kids killing kids. It just stresses me out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It just there's something about that concept. It stresses me out. I
Like-
studied it. I studied English literature, right? And they made us read all of those books as well.
Yeah.
So we did like
Here's Lord of the
Flies.
Flies.
We need to talk about
It's a
Kevin.
brilliant. It's
Burn
genuinely a
Gothel.
brilliant film.
Yeah, but I can't be dealing with it. I can't be dealing with it. I tried. I just can't. Literally, I get to the scene where they're in the classroom, and then that's it. I can't be dealing with it. That part, I'm
It's
just
like,
like,
oh
I'm
no,
out. Nope.
it's children.
Nope, not having it.
Yeah.
This makes me feel uncomfortable.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, I
It
know,
is,
and I
but
don't want it
yeah,
to.
he
be, so
doesn't want it to.
So I turn it off and I watch like Hitch by Will Smith.
Hitch by
I haven't seen Hitch in many years, but you understand what I'm saying.
Sure. You'd rather watch something a bit more comfortable.
I just would rather not watch. It's something. It's specifically kids killing kids. Just I cannot deal with it. And it just freaks. It makes me feel so unbelievably uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Does it turn you into the freakazoid?
I mean, I wouldn't have worded it like that.
I think
would
that's
more just.
to be fair. I don't think even you two would get that reference.
Yeah, I know what Freakazoid is. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, you were born in the 80s. Of course you do.
Of course I am. I'm fucking old, dude. I know what Freakazoid is.
I mean,
Freakazoid's so cool.
I like Freakazoid.
I was gonna push back on the 80s thing, but I guess technically it's true, and
Yeah, I was born in.
I don't make the laws of maths, so fair enough.
How could you push back
Fair
that I
enough.
was born in the 80s?
Spiritually, I would say you weren't.
You're like, oh, but I don't think 89 is the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Spiritually, I don't think it counts.
True,
But then again,
I remember
you must have seen
6 months. I don't remember any of it. I was alive for 6 months of it.
I spoke in very specific fact. I said Adam was born in the 80s.
I'm not an
That
80s
is-
child, yeah. But I was
That
born
is
in the
fact.
80s.
He was born in the 80s. That was fact. Everything I stated was fact.
That's why I'm saying I decided not. to
Adding
push
go,
back
oh,
on it.
Adam's so 80s. Ooh.
Did you know, Charlie, that Calvin Harris had love for me?
Yeah, he told me. He was very adamant about it.
He was. I feel like that's a reference only me and Charlie.
He was very adamant about it.
I
He
feel-
told me.
He did. I feel like nobody realized. I feel like nobody remembers those early Calvin Harris songs where he was like just a fucking nerdy dude.
A nerdy dude in his bedroom in Scotland, being like, "Oh, bow bow."
It's like
I was listening to
80s
flipping.
music.
Do you remember he did a song with two people called the Mitchell Brothers, called "I Wish I Could Move Like Michael Jackson"?
No, but that does ring a bell.
The Mitchell brothers.
It came on. It's not them, and that's
Not
the
them,
saddest part about it.
Not
It came on shuffle like a couple of hours ago, and I hadn't heard it in fucking ever. And
so
it's
it's
so
not made by our mates Grant and Big Phil.
nah,
No.
unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. But they really do have they sing on it, right? The Mitchell brothers sing on it, and then it's just the instrumental is the most Calvin Harris instrumental from that time period possible. Like if I played it to you, you would go,
you're
"Yeah,
like,
that's Calvin Harris.
yeah."
That's Calvin Harris' first album era." There isn't a single doubt about it. It's a shame we didn't get more of that. Because
agree.
even the second album was jumping straight into that kind of
The sort of like proper club banger stuff, right?
house sort of
Yeah.
popular. I don't know. Whereas that first album was so
It was just like, fuck it, let's just do weird shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I miss that.
I get all the girls.
I
get
was thinking
all the
about
girls.
fucking girls, man. It's a great song.
Those beats are so good, man. Like it isn't a shock to me that he's as successful a DJ and producer as he is.
Yeah.
But they just bang it so much.
did.
What about if he just released one of them just now, just blopped it
Like,
out?
we don't need Funkwave Bounces Volume 2. We need 80s Volume 2 or whatever.
There's a wrestling thing.
Hmm.
They review old school wrestling and they have
Ah.
Acceptable in the 80s is like their theme song.
Oh really?
Yeah, shout out OSW review.
Damn. There you go. It was acceptable.
And every time I
in the
hear it,
80s.
I'm just like, yes.
It's like,
It's such a good song, man. Acceptable
is
in the
good.
80s.
It is good. I enjoyed that song. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the exact same. That's whenever we wrap this up, that's gonna be
The first song
me for
on.
the next 8 hours.
Just old Calvin Harris.
Oh, just all acceptable in the 80s.
I have a habit of like doing stuff like that where I will pick a song and listen to just that song for hours.
What was the
Charlie's so
last song
bad
you
for
did
it.
that with? I'm the worst at it, and
You're the
I
worst at
asked
it.
because my answer to that question is insane. So what's the last song you like just deeps like that?
It's a good question.
I don't know. It's like? It's got to be something recent. I'm actually gonna look on Spotify right now and see what was
This
the.
is exactly what I'm doing.
I feel like it's a Stevie Wonder song.
The last one that I actually listened to like that was Art Sick by Tricot.
Oh, what a song, man! What
Yeah.
a song! I fucking love that song. Sorry, I've never heard. Oh, Adam, this is why we're friends. Like, no one's ever referenced that song.
Endlessly, like, oh, damn, this is fucking
It's
magical.
so good. The bit when she
Yeah.
just starts belting is so good.
Yeah.
No one's ever like that was the first song I ever heard from them, and my girlfriend sent it to me, and I was like, "This is fucking great." And she was like, "Yeah, it's good," and like she moved on with her life, and I never did.
No. It's 5 minutes long, and I'd sit there and I go, wait, that's 5 minutes gone already, and then I just replay it because every 5 minutes is not long enough. It's at the top of my on repeat.
I know what the song was now. It was a Stevie Wonder song.
Oh,
It was Something to Say by Stevie Wonder.
something to say.
Nice.
Such a good song.
Mm.
You should listen to that song. That song is so good.
The last Stevie Wonder song I did it with specifically was Sir Duke. That wasn't the last song I did it with, but the last Stevie Wonder song.
So the last song you did it with was fucking a Basement Jaxx one, or
No, although you know,
yeah,
that was a plan.
that was the plan. Sure. But now it's Calvin Harris.
Adam, you probably know what the last song was. If I'll give you a clue, I tweeted about it.
Oh, I did see. I don't remember what you posted, but I definitely saw it. Yeah.
It was, of course, Axel F by Crazy Frog. I listened to that the other day when I was editing for no lie. I think like 4 hours on loop.
Who made Crazy Frog? I'm curious.
I think there was some Swedish guys. What's crazy about it now is the guy who produced it, who produced specifically Axel F by Crazy Frog, is now in charge of Sony's A&R.
Oh my god.
He's now like the head of A&R at Sony, and I'm like, and that was like his like third song he produced, and I'm just the power.
I can just imagine, right? Your girlfriend walks into the editing room, and you're there like editing, and just like headphones on, and just burp, 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 and then just you suddenly just like bing, bing, like singing along, going bap, bap, or whatever.
Let's do the Crazy Frog breakdown. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's one of those. It's a bot, bruv. The people they don't.
One thing I don't get is that why does the frog have a penis?
I thought you could have just ended it with the one thing I don't get is that.
Why does the frog exist?
Why does it have a? Why does it gotta have a dick, man? I don't get it. Why is that a thing,
bro?
Why does it have to? Why?
Bro,
why?
The frog, right, was so big they had not one but 2 games.
I saw a list the other day, and it was like they had 3 racing games, right?
I only knew of 2. Did they make a third? I know they had Crazy Frog Racer, and then Crazy Frog Racer 2.
Racing. Maybe there were only 2, but it was fucking outside Xbox, I think. And it was, I believe it was Ellen, and she was like, yeah, it was just the 2. I believe she was like, not only did they make 1 Crazy Frog Racer, they made 2. And I'm like, how do they make 2?
They're really bad as well.
What does that mean?
Of course they're really bad. I didn't expect anything else.
True.
2005 or whenever that was a wild time.
Yes, the original was in 2005.
I remember
Crazy Frog
walking
Racer
into...
2 was 2006-2007.
I remember...
I feel like it was a big thing in UK schools back then too.
It was massive.
So
UK
big.
schools,
Bro, the year 6 leaving assembly popped off when Axel left. It was huge.
It was everybody's ringtone. Mine wasn't. Mine was the fucking Billy Hatcher thing, but it was everybody else's ringtone.
It was mine. It was. I can tell you for a fact that it was definitely mine.
This is the thing, right? I hated it at the time. I despised it. I thought incorrectly, right? I thought that the We Are the Champions version Crazy Frog did was better, which I think was on.
What?
I want to say on the second album. I think it was the lead single of the second album, right? And I was like, I liked that, but I hated the Crazy Frog. I don't know, it just pissed me off.
It's because he's annoying. But, it's in his name.
I know,
thing.
but why it's weird is that now I unashamedly love it so much. That's what I find weird about it. It's not necessarily that I hated it then. It's that now I like it. Now I'm like, bruv, the people, they don't know about Axel F.
The people know about it. They just choose to ignore it.
Ding a dang dong, we're the champions. We are the champions, my friends.
The people do know about Crazy Frog
I loved it. I full on loved it as a kid, mate. I can't hide that. Like it was my ringtone, man. Like I had a CD. I actually had a CD.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, Crazy Frog.
I had a DC. I had a CD.
The album was called like Crazy Hits, I think, and it was orange.
Yes, it was that album.
Yes, I remember it. I remember it well. I remember it well because it was almost certainly number 1 in this country.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, almost certainly. There's almost no way that it wasn't.
Ding a dang dog, we're the champions. We are the champions. Do you know what else popped off at the year 6 leaving assembly? Cha Cha Slide. Do you know what's mad about Cha Cha Slide? Kids today like Cha Cha Slide.
Do they?
And I don't understand. Yeah, do you remember before the pandemic when I was doing
it kind of became very timeless, I think.
I think it did as well. I didn't realize this, but you know, before the pandemic when I was doing loads of like parties and stuff, when I was working at loads of parties, and I remember going to we did a kids party, and my friend was DJing it, and I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was setting up games consoles or something. And like he put on Cha Cha Slide, and the kids fucking popped, bruv. And they knew all of the words and were doing the dance and shit. And I'm like, however many years later, like Cha Cha Slide still bangs. And I'm like, because that seemed like such a specific moment in my childhood, and yet it's still like it's still a thing, and I don't understand.
Yeah, that's mad. That is something that happens. I don't know, man. I can't imagine.
Pop culture's a wild beast.
Pop culture.
Shout out Mr. C the Slide, man.
What I also think might have added to it as well, like because well, to be fair, you two don't really go out to clubs very much.
No, not really, no.
So we don't really know, but they like a lot of the times you're going to a club and they'll be playing the songs that we listened to as kids.
Oh yeah,
or we heard as kids.
That's because all the people who were it's because music for a lot of people, not necessarily for us, because I know that we're more into that, but I think music for a lot of people is solely nostalgia. And so like if you go to a club, they're gonna play fucking Pretty Green Eyes or whatever, because that's what everyone played 20 years ago. So they're gonna play it again now because everyone still loves it, and everyone absolutely completely wasted is gonna sing the hearts out to it. And it's like it's fucking Mr. Brightside, right? It's the reason why Mr. Brightside is like still in the UK charts. Like it never left the UK top 40.
That song That song bangs like
Yeah.
no other song bangs.
Because
like,
you play it on a night
Jesus.
out and literally everybody in the room is like absolutely going mad, right?
It's actually insane how much like that song
Oh,
pops off.
it is. It's actually mad.
Is it bad to admit that I don't like that song?
But when you're drunk, you'll fucking love it.
No, even when I'm drunk, I don't sing along to it. I just don't like it at all.
Do you know what? I like it, but I'm not like super fussed.
Sure.
It's one of those songs that I like it and I'm like, yeah, that's good. And like sometimes I vibe it, but like
I'll enjoy it. But when I'm drunk, yeah, I'm pretty on it.
see, this is my problem as well. When I'm in those situations, I'm sober and so I dislike it more.
That's fair. No, I understand.
Because I'm just like, oh, shut up. I can't be asked with this. Fine, it's only like 3 minutes. It'll be over.
It's
soon.
not that long, but I think that's kind of what it is, and that's why the clubs still play like bangers from people's childhoods, is because everyone who's out nowadays, people who go to clubs nowadays are maybe my age is overdoing it a bit, but they're definitely like your age, Louis. And so like
I don't know, 27's starting to push it.
Yeah, it's starting to push it a bit, but they're definitely still of that age, right? And so that's the target audience is people who listen to those songs when they were kids and still want that nostalgia and that happiness that comes with remembering songs from your childhood. Weirdly.
Well, it's definitely not gained by being an adult.
What nostalgia?
No, being happy.
I mean, that too.
Not wrong.
That too, yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. But that's why I don't like I've never liked this sort of like wedding DJ stuff, because it's all that kind of stuff. I like music now. I know I'm weird. I like music now. So I want to listen to music from now, and that makes me really sort of. It puts me in a very weird place where, like, I'll still have nostalgia for all of that shit, right? I'm still gonna have nostalgia for Mr. Brightside or whatever, but it's to the point where I'm just like, yeah, but I'd like to hear that fucking new Lizzo song or whatever, right? Because that's cool, or whatever else. The fucking I don't really like the Harry Styles song, but As It Was, right? I'm sure someone plays that out there at fucking summer barbecues, and we're like, yeah, fair play.
I think that's the problem, though, is you'll find it. It's just,
yeah.
If you're DJing a wedding or whatever, you have one task.
You have one task, yeah, and your task is to make all the adults feel like they are 10 again.
That's just making the people happy, innit?
No, make them feel specifically like they're at the school discos and they can slide around in their socks.
Well, I know, like, because obviously, like, again, because I did like the DJing stuff and all the other bits and pieces, and like you do, it's like some people do want. Like some people do have like, yeah, just play whatever you want.
That's what it is. That's what the wedding set is, though, isn't it? Yeah.
But like the vast majority of the time,
they want the wedding songs. They want cha-cha
slide. If you aren't told specifically, like if you're vibing it, then you are just playing the safe songs.
Yeah, of course. You want the fucking that Michael Jackson song, "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," right? Yeah, they want
great song. To be fair,
they want the Michael Jackson. They want Mr. Brightside. They want the cha-cha slide. They might even want Axel F. They might even want Axel.
I think that would rile more people up than it wouldn't.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like we've had a good long conversation today about all sorts of nice stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed the long conversations about stuff. And if you have, you can always give us a little follow or subscribe on Twitter, on the things, on the YouTubes. That I really fucked that one up.
Follow us next week. I'll actually talk about Stray, the game I was meant to play.
I was meant to play Stray as well, but then my foot got fucked and I'd not been able to download it.
So please stay tuned. We actually have something to talk about next week.
Yeah. So next week, me and Louis will talk about the cat game.
I mean,
2 weeks too late.
Who cares about
being good, right? Yeah, fuck it. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Ding ding.